Take a look at this modern power plant generator. Despite a century of engineering progress, almost all of the commercial electricity we use right now is still generated by a process invented in the 1880s, boiling water to make steam and using the pressure of that steam to spin a massive metal turbine. But relying on physical machinery creates a strict physical bottleneck called the temperature gap. If a power plant burns its fuel too hot, the solid metal turbine blades will work and melt. To keep the machinery intact, engineers have to artificially cap the operating temperatures, which limits the overall thermodynamic efficiency of these plants to about 42%. Because we have to hold back that heat to protect the equipment, more than half of the potential energy in the fuel we burn is completely wasted. To solve this, researchers developed a radical alternative called magnetohydrodynamic, or MHD, power generation. The core idea is simple. If solid metal blades melt under extreme heat, remove the moving solid parts entirely. Instead of metal, MHD systems run on superheated plasma. Because a gas can handle temperatures far beyond the melting point of steel, these generators reach a theoretical efficiency rate between 50 and 60%. Breaking that 42% thermal limit means squeezing significantly more electricity out of the exact same amount of fuel. On paper, MHD is the logical solution for global energy conservation. The physics behind this goes back to 1831. The scientist Michael Faraday hypothesized that you could generate power from moving fluids and tested it by dangling metal electrodes off the Waterloo Bridge straight into the flowing water of the Thames River. Faraday knew the river water was slightly electrically conductive. He reasoned that as this fluid moved through the Earth's natural magnetic field, it would force positive and negative charges to separate, creating a transverse electrical current. He actually managed to measure small deflections on his instruments. Modern MHD generation uses that principle, but scales it up to industrial extremes. Instead of a slow-moving river, engineers shoot an ultra-high-speed, heavily ionized gas, or plasma, directly through a specialized channel. This diagram outlines the core system. The extremely hot conductive gas flows rapidly down the center, passing between the north and south poles of a powerful magnet. As it passes through the intense magnetic field, charged particles are forced apart. Negative charges gather in one direction, positive in the opposite. This creates an induced electric field, a motional EMF, pushing a strong electrical current directly into the top and bottom electrodes. Standard combustion gas isn't conductive enough on its own, so engineers inject a sieving material like potassium carbonate into the mix. This ionizes the gas, transforming it into an excellent electrical conductor. By replacing fragile mechanical engineering with pure fluid dynamics, scientists bypassed the temperature bottleneck of traditional turbines. Taking this from a textbook theory to a working power plant was a long engineering struggle. Westinghouse built an experimental MHD generator in the late 1930s, but the tests fell short. At the time, they simply couldn't get the natural gas working fluid conductive enough to generate significant power. By the 1960s, researchers identified the specific barrier, the electrical conductivity of the gas itself. By pairing high-temperature combustion with alkali metal seeds like potassium or cesium, they lowered the ionization potential enough to sustain a reliable electrical current. The first major success came in 1965 with the Avco Mark 25. It was an alcohol-fueled generator built in the United States that managed an intensely powerful 32-megawatt flame for 3-minute runs. The Soviet Union then pushed the scale even further. Starting in 1971, they built the massive U-25 plant in Moscow. For years, this facility ran on regular utility operation, feeding 25 megawatts of raw MHD power directly into the city's electrical grid. They utilized a strategy called the topping cycle. The MHD generator operates as the first stage, extracting electricity directly from the hottest plasma. Then the hot exhaust gas is piped into a conventional boiler, creating steam for a secondary turbine. By the late 20th century, engineers had built, tested, and successfully integrated these plasma generators into the global energy infrastructure. So if the technology is sound and was connected to major power grids, why aren't our power plants running on plasma today? The answer lies in a material science paradox. To get high electrical conductivity, you need extreme heat. But that very same blistering temperature relentlessly degrades the internal walls and electrodes of the MHD channel itself. Researchers tried to solve this by pairing MHD with nuclear reactors in a closed-loop system, but those efforts stalled. The nuclear fuel rods melt before they can reach the extreme temperatures that the MHD plasma requires to function. At the same time, traditional mechanical engineering continued to advance. A fierce competitor entered the market, the combined cycle gas turbine. This chart tracks the efficiency of both technologies over time. While the efficiency of the MHD topping cycle was limited by material wear, combined cycle gas turbines improved steadily, eventually crossing the line and surpassing the efficiency of MHD in the late 2000s. Compared to the high maintenance costs of replacing heat-damaged components inside a plasma channel, modern turbines are inexpensive to maintain and highly reliable to run. MHD remains a reminder of the gap between physical potential and industrial reality. While it successfully bypassed the heat limits of early turbines, it ultimately couldn't outpace the steady, incremental efficiency gains and low maintenance costs of the gas turbines we rely on today.
Namaste, my friends. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more knowledge, and keep learning every single day.